I wanted to also go over a couple of other books about a couple of other animation guys. One is a book all about Bill Plympton. I guess this is autobiography. And then this one is all about Ralph Bakshi. Another autobiography. So let's look at Ralph's book. This is the famous Ralph Bakshi, who you guys probably know from doing a Lord of the Rings feature back in, God, when was that, 1978? But he's also the guy that did the animated feature based on Robert Crumb's character, Fritz the Cat. So here's his autobiography about his life and art as an animator, animation director, and producer. And you see a ton of his drawings in here, which I was not that familiar with his actual drawing style. So this was all a surprise to me. Here we see some samples of work from various pictures that he directed. That's Coonskin, that's Hey Good Looking. A lot of different things. This is Coonskin also. Just a lot of different pictures that he's done over the years. See if I can get that glare away from there. There's tons of art in here, either his or inspired by different people. This, I'm pretty sure, is, yeah, this is Heavy Traffic. So here's his drawings. Here's his early life growing up in Brooklyn. It's a painting that he did back in the 80s of a, where is that? That doesn't even say what it is. I guess it's probably where he grew up. So there's lots of drawings, lots of photographs, lots of stuff. His animation career started at Terrytoons, which was doing Mighty Mouse cartoons back in the old days. Mighty Mouse was taking the concept of a mouse, of Mickey and Superman, and combining them into a superhero mouse. If you get this book, you'll find out all about Ralph Bakshi. You'll see tons of his artwork, his drawings, find out what it was that inspired him. This Deputy Dog cartoon, I used to watch that when I was a kid. He did this series called The Mighty Heroes. This drawing looks a lot like Paul Coker Jr. style from Mad Magazine. Now we skip ahead to various other pictures and projects that he worked on. It's inspirational in that he does art that he likes and loves. He's the one that made the Fritz the Cat feature, directed that. This drawing here is by Ira Turek, who I met when I worked at Marvel. And I used to look over his shoulder while he was drawing background designs back in '85 for some Marvel projects. And I once asked him, how come you don't use rulers to figure out your perspectives and everything? He said, if you just approximate your perspective in the straight lines, it's fine. You don't need to use rulers. And I took that to heart, so I rarely use rulers when I'm doing my backgrounds. Everything is just, well, it should be about here, so. There's another one of his backgrounds. Here's Fritz the Cat. I guess you might call this a model sheet. Looks like John Sperry did this Fritz the Cat model sheet. I knew John Sperry when I was at Film Roman. Some religious guys from Fritz the Cat. He would do stuff like putting animation over photograph backgrounds a lot of times. Or he would trace a background to make his background. Now we get into Heavy Traffic. which is about growing up in Brooklyn. Like I said, you may not want to actually draw like him, but you can take inspiration from him doing his own projects. And that's why he's an important figure in animation. He does what he wants to do, and he finds guys to give him dough and makes his pictures. And a lot of them are about the other side of life, the opposite of Disney. It's not sweet, saccharine stuff. It's living on the streets. It's very brutal. This one is called Wizards, and it's about post-apocalyptic Earth. Then he did Lord of the Rings, which was totally rotoscoped, but still had to be designed beforehand. So you see a lot of pre-production design work here. Something called American Pop, which was a history of American music and immigrants, the immigrant life. Hey Good Lookin', which was about a black street gang fighting an Italian street gang back in the 50s. Some Frank Frazetta drawings, because he did this picture called Fire and Ice, which was cavemen based on Frank Frazetta paintings. And again, it was rotoscope, but somebody has to come up with designs for that. Here they are photographing, making plans for shots. That's Frank Frazetta there. And these are characters in the movie. Everything was shot on film first and then traced frame by frame into animation paper and cells. This is something that I don't think I saw. Bakshi Fables. I did see this Harlem Shuffle video, music video. John Kay directed that, did the designs, it looks like. At some point, Ralph and John Kay did Mighty Mouse for CBS TV. This is back in the 80s. Totally different than what was done at Terry Toons. And here you see when he did this feature. It's a pretty wild feature he did here. It was pretty far out. Brad Pitt was in it. It was so wild. It was unlike anything else that had been done at that point. Look at these wild drawings. These are Ralph's, I'm pretty sure. And here you see some of his paintings. A lot of wild stuff here. So if you need inspiration to do your own stuff, I recommend getting this one. Another one, independent animator, Bill Plympton. He did these animated pictures back in the 80s. So entertaining, and he would do them just on paper, I think. A lot of good stuff here. Just pencil and color pencil on paper. So this book is his life story. He was doing newspaper and magazine illustration work, cartooning, and he decided he wanted to try doing some animation. And he did his own animation ideas. He just said, well, I got this joke that I want to animate, so I'll figure out how to do that. And he did. We'd see his cartoons at animation festivals. His own unique drawing style. think this one is called Your Face, and it just, all this metamorphosis animation. This is one about how to kiss. Just some really wild stuff. He shows what you can do if you want to be an independent animator and you follow your vision and you follow through with it. You go ahead and do your animation, your pictures your way. And if you're working a day job, you stay up late at night and weekends to do your picture, get your vision out there, however you want to do it. Don't have anybody to boss you around. You just make the picture the way you want to make it. If you want to do it just pencil on paper, that's what you do. If you want to spring for buying some animation cells, go ahead and buy them. And you just make your picture your way. So Plympton is another one of my heroes that always does what he wants to do. Just inspirational looking at his art. Totally different than Ralph Bakshi's art, but still it's what Bill Plympton wants to do. He follows his inner voice, his dream, and puts down in animation and drawings what it is that's in his head. So another highly recommended book. And that brings us to the end. Two guys that did what they wanted to do, Bill Plympton and Ralph Bakshi. So keep drawing your stuff your way. Keep having fun. We'll see you next time.